Well, this isn't exactly the way I was going to do it, but this worked out best. This matting I found, it was actually pretty thick matting, so I just double layered it. Used a lot of resin on it. This will bond it to that canvas on the bottom. And but yeah, the metal that I used is actually the torsion springs from a Volkswagen Beetle. I had an old set of them. That'll help stiffen up this mold. Yeah, I've got it far enough back I can cut, and far enough forward and on the sides. So I actually am gonna cut it up in here is about where it's gonna be at. So whenever I take this off and flip it over, I'll have center line because I'll know where that center stripe is. That's center of the car, so I can use that as my center line to line up the old headliner I have, because I can mark down the center of this. I can see it at the front, and then I can also see it at the back in the center where the dome light is, and that will get me in my alignment. And then from that point, I'll just trace it out and cut. But I'm gonna turn this heater up pretty hot, let it burn through for another half hour just to get everything warm in here. And I'm gonna call it a night. All right, I've got it laid up here. I've got it traced out. The fiberglass that I did last night is actually hardened on the back side of this here, but what I'll do is I'll probably just come back. I've got to bend this up a little bit, and I'll reinforce it and get it straightened out and add more resin right there. And up on the front too, there's a little bit of resin needed to be up there, but that should be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim out about 1/4 inch on the outside of that line. And I can lay another piece of fiberglass right here, re-resin that, and should be good, and that'd be a good mold. This is actually, it's not too bad. You can see the texture of that plastic that I had down the roof, but it's pretty straight, pretty nice. I've got the dome light hole set up, and I've got the holes marked for the sun visors. And then it's got these little tabs here. They lock into the back of the roof. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut out. So like I said, this right here, when it was laying on the roof line of the car, it was laying like this. The roof line of the car, it's correct on the downstat, but at the back, for people who don't know, this roof line sort of does a mock spoiler on the roof line. So I don't know if this is gonna lay flat like it's supposed to on the inside. This is still kind of flexible. But now that I have it cut to the correct shape, I'm gonna go ahead and test it in the car. If it needs to be laid down some, I can turn it back over, put a block underneath this to get the lay flat, and then relay another layer of fiberglass on the inside, on the inside, with it blocked up, and that should stiffen it up. But yeah, it's pretty close. It's like I said, it's 1/4 inch bigger on every edge. I'm gonna go just see how it looks inside the car right now and see if that's gonna work for us. If it does, then I'll continue on getting this strengthened up. I mean, this is pretty strong right now, especially with these metal metal springs in it. It's got some flex, but with it laid upside down like this right here between those two sawhorses, that's the correct shape. So that'll work out good. Just probably spread it. Yeah, that right there with that slight belly in it, that's how it needs to be. So I'm gonna go try it out in the car real quick, and we'll see what we need to do from there. And from that point on, I'll start strengthening up the edges, and then probably put another layer of that fiberglass on the inside here after we straighten this out a little bit. I knew it was going to be trial and error. Like I said, I've done fiberglass previously, but this here is like bigger scale than what I'm not used to. But this should work out good. I'm going to go ahead and cut the hole because I know that's going to be correct for the dome light. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these here too, these little notches. All right, so what these little gaps here are, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots for the rear screws for the rear molding, and that's what that's for, is you get your molding in place with the screws already kind of started, and then you can work this in there and that locks it in place. So what I need to do now, because that looked good, and I'm lined right up with my dome light right there. All right, very good. So what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and cut that extra 1/4 inch off all the way around because I'm a little bit low on my sides here. And so that 1/4 inch, that'll be 1/2 inch overall with taking up that lot to go on up. And what I'll do then is I'll finish off the edges with some more resin. I don't believe that this little bit of bump is going to really matter. We'll see. Even if it does, you should be able to flex it out. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and fix it. I'm going to go ahead and put a board underneath that when I lay the next layer of glass on it. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to finish off these edges, cut them and finish them. And on the front there too. But that works out great. Whew, man. I don't know why headliners to me are such a pain in the tail. Like even the normal ones for like a regular vehicle, it's just that they're so bulky and you're trying to get them in a certain position. But I'll go ahead and get it cut, get it set. So the headliner's got to come back here where the ramp up starts about 3 inches ahead of it, which is about that much where I've got that rod at. And it just needs to drop off. So that's all I need to do is I just need to flex this down and fiberglass the other side, and that'll fix it. I will continue to let this headliner dry, probably overnight, and then we'll retest it in the morning. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good mold, and like I said, once I'm sure it's going to work, what I'll probably end up doing is after it dries, I'm going to put it back in there, test it again. I might actually even grab some of the parts that hold it in place, just temporarily hold it up there. It's not going to fit exactly though, because it's got this these metal ribs underneath it, which would be against the roof line. But I can at least get it up there and make sure, you know, it's pretty close to where it needs to be at. All right, well, the mold is underneath. This is the first try at getting a, you know, a headliner set up. I've got it doubled up as 2 of these layers of that thick matting. Overcut it, that way I can cut it back to the correct size. And it's double layer, and it took about right at half a gallon to maybe a little bit, about half a gallon to get full saturation, which is what I'm going for. That way it will stay together. But I'm gonna see how 2 layers does. If I'll probably, this right here, this is a good one. I'll probably keep it. I got about half of it done, and then I had to go somewhere. So half of it got hardened already, and then I did the other half, and then I sort of overcoated again, which is why you sort of see some spots that are a little bit more shiny. It's just, that's where some resin was already hardened at. But anyways, this one here, it feels like it's going to be a good one. I'll probably keep this one, test it out in my car, and if I feel like it needs to be thicker, I can make it thicker. So a half a gallon of resin, let's just say it's about $50. If you buy it by the quart, so you buy it by the gallon, it's a little bit less expensive, but it's still expensive. So that, and then the 2 layers of cloth, that stuff, I want to say it was $50 for the roll, and I could probably get, with 2 layers, that's probably $20 worth of fiberglass, so it's not really that bad. I believe what I will do though is, like I said, see how this cuts out, see how it fits up in the car, and from that point, we'll see about offering them for sale. I just need to get my, it needs to be warmer outside so I can do this outside, and I'm not having to move everything around all the time. But once I figure out the entire sequence I need to do this in to get everything laid out correctly, I believe it'll be just fine. Yeah, I just poured this a minute ago, and it's already starting to harden up. I poured it about 10 minutes ago, so that's good. I'm gonna use the roller and roll it a little bit while it's starting to tack up, and probably let it sit for overnight. Hey everybody, so it's actually kind of nice up today. It's like 70 degrees, so it's pretty nice not being so cold, but bundled up because I'm doing a bunch of welding. This video is going to be sort of a mix-up because I've been working on that headliner, and then I'm going to be welding. And good news is I should be able to order my suspension parts. So front, rear suspension, rear axle area, rear axle, all my brakes and everything. I should be able to order all that this next week. And talking to them though, they said they're in the process of moving locations. The company, they're down in Florida. So from what I understand, they said it should be about 5 weeks for delivery, because I'm pretty sure most of their stuff is built to order. So just so y'all know that. And anyways, I'm gonna get to work on this car, welding up some more. I'm not no rush for the suspension. I just got to get it ordered. I've got a ton of work here to do, so it doesn't really matter, how long it takes to get it. But I'm gonna get to weld up some more. So I'm working on the back right now. I got a few little things to finish up back here, and then we can go around and start doing some of the other stuff around front and underneath, mainly underneath, because I still got to weld up all the floor pan area underneath. Those are the holes for the bumper mount. There's that bracket. It bolts to the floor, then comes through here, and your bumper bolts to that. And then you have your rear billets that hangs down all the way to right here. I actually wanted to take a look at this. This rear valence sits right here just like that. Come on down a little bit. So right there's the screw hole for that. And that holds to that. I gotta just dent that in a little bit to get this here to fit correct. But that'll work. One thing I do have to do. All right, guys. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the electronics that I'm planning on putting in the car. Since the car is completely not stock anymore, I'm going to do a lot of different things to this car to make it a modern car. One of which the new engine, transmission, computer system with that, the aftermarket body harness for all the power, and then the relays I'm going to be using, power windows, power door locks, a power trunk. It'll have a button that'll pop the trunk open on the inside. I am going to go ahead and make both door glasses and the quarter glasses electric. Originally I was just going to do the front, the window glasses, the door glasses, but I think I'm going to do them all. Some of the other things I'm going to do. I found a lot of standalone units of different things. So I think I've already mentioned the headlights. I've found a kit that will make it an automatic headlight unit. So if you turn if it's dark outside, it'll automatically kick the lights on, no matter if you flip the switch or not. But you can turn it off. There is a switch where you can turn that box off, but if you have the box activated at dark, it will kick the lights on. If you turn the windshield wipers on, it will kick the lights on. Just saying, some of the other things, these cars, you had your front windshield defroster through your heat. The rear windows did not, but I have found another kit that has, it's basically, you know how the newer vehicles have the electronic, the heater lines that run on with that? I found the exact kit for this. It's basically a sticker that's got, it's like a transfer sticker that's got those heater lines. You put it on the inside of the back glass, it sticks, you peel the transfer away, it just gives you your copper tracing, and then you have a switch up on your dash. You can flip on rear window defrost. I like that, because these cars did not have that, and it was a pain. Especially if your back window started fogging up or whatever. So this will have it. I am going to put sort of a reverse cam screen. It's going to be low on the console, sort of out of your, it'll be in your field of vision, but not like right in your face. Sort of like, I hate to say it, like the new Teslas. It won't be that big though. It's a smaller screen, but it'll have all my, it'll have Apple CarPlay and the reverse And I think it even has side cameras that you mount right below the mirrors, and it gives you a wide angle of next to you. And I think that camera, those side cameras, will hook up to my blinkers, and when I turn my blinker on left or right, it'll kick on that camera and give me a view of what's beside me, which I like. I know this is sort of overkill, but I'm making it modern, making it mine. Another thing, just a light. So this valance fits back here like that. The only reverse light this car had is that center reverse light right here. That's all it has. I like a nice bright reverse light for backing up. And so there's really nothing behind this valance. That bar sits right here, but I have almost that much room underneath that bar that's not getting used. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a couple of they're not fog lights or they're sort of like a floodlight. I'm gonna put one on each side on this bottom of this valance, and when I kick it in reverse, they'll come on. Something else that I thought was really neat was I found a standalone kit for blind spot detection. And I can hear everybody like, what the heck? So basically with the rear bumper, you have one at each corner, and then you have one here and one here, sort of like split, but the ones on the corner sort of angle off. So you have 4 sensors, and I can get it a 4 sensor, 8 sensor kit. I don't really think I need a front kit for it. So just the 4 for the rear. For when I turn the blinker on, if anything's coming up, there's 2 lights that mount on the dash that I will actually embed into the dash to make them look like part of the whole kit, or the whole setup with my gauges. So whenever I kick my left blinker on, if it detects anything from this one over, it will kick on a little yellow warning light that there's something over on this side. Same thing if I kick on the right hand side, it'll show me if it'll warn me that there's something over there. So yes, it is overkill. And then also cruise control. It'll have cruise control. So yes, everything I'm putting on this here, a lot of this stuff is nice to have, but then there's a lot of overkill stuff like the blind spot detection. But these systems, when you get the standalone systems like that, they are nowadays they are a lot less expensive than I had thought they would be. And I wasn't even looking for this stuff. I was just scrolling around, looking on the web, and just I'm like, okay, well, I found that. I wonder if they had this, and I type that in, and I find a kit for that. So there's a lot of newer features, and if I'm getting this far into the car, I might as well spend the time and the little bit of money that it's going to cost to add these features and not have to worry about wrecking this thing. If I'm spending this much time and money in this car, I don't want to wreck it. I don't want to be turning and somebody clip me, you know. This is going to be, like I said, a daily driver, but I want to be as safe as possible. This car, it's not blind spot bad, even though you have that complete C-pillar right in your left field of view. But I'm hoping with the mirror, the blind spot detection, and the camera for the left hand, right hand turns and stuff like that, that I will be covered as far as, okay, nothing's coming, I'm turning, yeah. I just have to watch out for all the other people who don't know how to drive. So I just wanted to bring that on. Those are the extra features that I'm planning on putting on this car. Yes, it is a lot, but it's not that much, you know. I think between everything else I'm adding to this, you've got certain things that require load on the electrical system, but for a short amount of times and not that much. So that's all I wanted to say. You know, the I'll have I found it's a weatherproof 10 gang relay box with 5-pin relays in it. Those will go for my windows, the power door locks, trunk popper, all that stuff like that. I'll relay anything that requires heavy loads. But things like this blind spot detection stuff, that doesn't require a lot of power. It's getting set up, and what I can do is I'll set the box up, run it back here. The whole kit comes complete, and it's pretty neat. So that's what I'm gonna do. I know I'm waiting to hear it. But I think between the blind spot detection, the dash cams, side cams, all that, I've already actually got those lights I'm talking about that I was going to stick here. I've had those. I was going to put those on something else a long time ago, but I still got them, and I was going to say, oh, those have worked great, and I was going to order them, and then I saw that I had purchased them like 2 years ago, and I got to scrounge around and I found them. So they are a flush mount light. They are 1.5 inches wide by like 6 or 7 inches long, and they will flush them out to this with 2 nice flat pan head screws right there, and they only stick out the back a minimum of like 1.5 inches, and then I can go from there, and I can pop in either through the groove here for the trunk pan area, and grommet that and make it look nice. And then as far as the blind spot detection, you really won't be able to see it. I could bring the wires straight out behind where the bumper sits. Grommet that, you'll never see it. There's a lot of cool things I plan on doing. Some people think it's overkill. I think it's awesome. My wife's like, well, now she'll drive the car because she's like, well, at least I feel more comfortable being able to drive it now. All right, anyways, on with more work. I just wanted to get that out the way. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to weld up some of the fender wells here. So where the fender tub clamps and welds to the body at, there's a few spots I need to repair where it's come apart a little bit. So I'm going to clamp these together, tack spot weld them across. I think that's one of the places I was seeing some seam sealer. A lot of the stuff in here I am going to seam seal after I've welded it, just to make sure, and then we'll get this done and continue on forward. Ahead and drill my rear seat, or my seat bolt holes that I had covered up. So there's 4, there's 2 up front. Well guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Not a welding gas, believe it or not. I'll go ahead and get a bottle filled again tomorrow, but it's gonna be later in the day before I get restarted on everything. I've got to make a trip over Mississippi and back. But anyways, we'll continue on as we get more and more things to do. Like I said, I'm fixing to start ordering all the suspension components, stuff like that, this next week, and it's probably like a 5-week lead time from what they said. And then I got to order a bunch of the other things. Shifter, I got to find a motor. Just trying to decide on which motor I want to go with, either a 6.2 or a 6.0, but definitely a 6-speed transmission. My thought is go with a 6.0 iron block, bore it out, go with the 4/8 stroker like I've been planning. But then also with the 6.2 aluminum block, I get a little bit lighter weight, a little bit more horsepower stock, and I don't know, I'm debating on which way to go. Either way, we're gonna give it a boost with a supercharger. I just don't know if I want to supercharge a 6.2. I don't think there'll be much of an issue with it, but we'll see. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.